Okay, I'm going to put these together at the notches. And on the seam, it's going to be, well, I'm going to do my front and back first. And then the 2 notches that are on the side, I'm going to put on the seam. So these 2 notches will be my seam notches. They match up to my seam. Okay, now you can put as many clips as you want in, because you will have to like give this a little nudge. Well, if you do it like this, it will lay flat when you serge it or sew it. It just looks like it's not gonna go together, but it actually does. So you will do it like this. I'm just trying to line up my circle pieces. Well, the curves, not circle piece. Well, I am lining up with circle piece, but I'm talking about my curve. Okay, so now all we have to do is sew all of our pieces together. Okay, we're going to start with the brim. I'm going to remove this one and I'm going to start here. And we are serging the outer edge. And we do want to go over just a tad bit to lock that stitch in. So we want to go back over where we sewed about 2 or 3 inches. No, 2 or 3 centimeters, not inches, or a 1/4 inch. Back over it to lock it in. Okay, and now we're going to do the top of our hat. And we're just going to make sure it's laid flat all the way through while we sew it. Make sure that that bottom piece is pulled to the back so that you're not getting it caught up in your serge. Or stitching it, however you want to put it. I'm just pulling it, making sure it's through there. Okay. And we are just going around until we come back to where we started. Okay, so now we have the top part of the hat. And set it to the side. This is the top part to my lining. So we're setting both of these to the side. Okay, and I am going to put the signature lines around the sewing, the brim. Okay, so we are going to turn our brim. Let me show you first what we're going to do to the brim before we do that. We're going to turn the brim outside where it is, where we can see the pretty side. And I'm just going to clip. You can press it out to make it crisp, which is probably what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm not going to finger press it this time, but you can finger press it. I just want it out. So now it should look like this. And I'm going to go ahead and do a finger press. No, I'm going to press it down just a little bit. Okay. So with this, I'm going to, while it's still warm, kind of finger press. And I'm going to clip the inner so that it can stay where I want it to, because I want these to stay. I don't want them to move. So I'm clipping them in. Puppet's going crazy. They put her in the bathroom because she was not behaving. And now she is going crazy. Hold on just a second. Okay, so now it should look like this. This is all finger pressed out, however you want to say it. You want it to be even around here. Okay, so what I like to do, I like to start on the seam. I'm gonna turn my camera down so you can see. Okay, so I like to have line my seam up with this edge of the brim. I like to line it up with the edge of my presser foot and start right there at the seam and just go around, keeping it lined up. I'm just making sure that my lining is turned under. I don't want to get it on top. And you just want to go around. I think I'm going to do 5 of these, 5 rows. This is a little kid hat, so I may only do 3. Okay. So once you get done with that row of that stitch, you want to line that stitch up with the edge of your presser foot. So the stitch is here. It is now lined up with the edge of my presser foot. I'm going to start on the seam. And I'm just going to go around. And you keep on doing this till you get your desired look. Some people do 3, some people do 4, some people do 5. And you just keep going around until you get it looking like you want it to look. Lining up the stitch that you previously done with the edge, the right edge of your presser. So I may put one more in. After about now, you can probably remove your these stitches. I mean flips, not stitches. Do not remove your stitches. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead, and you don't have to like move the deal each time. Well, you do have to. You don't have to stop and cut, but I do. Makes it look better when you stop and cut, and as opposed to just moving your thread over. I think I'm gonna do one more stitch, and this will be my last one. This will be my last stitch. Let me see. Okie doke. So this is my last stitch with that. Now I'm putting it over, back over to the side. And I am getting my serger. Okay. So now it should look like this. You got your stitching going around. Now we're going to add our, I'm going to turn it this way, and we're going to match our seams up. If you want to, you can add notches to quarter it off, but I'm only concerned about the seams at this time, because all you're going to do now is just clip all the way around. And so you just make sure that your curve matches your side curve match your brim curve, and that's pretty much it. And if you are doing a non-reversible hat, when you get done with this, you will be done. And now we're just gonna sew all the way around. Being sure to keep everything under and nothing, make sure it's not getting caught up double. But make sure that you have all three of these pieces, both pieces of your brim, and then your side piece. Now you want to check it for holes. So if you are only doing the non-lining version or the non-reversible version, you are done. And it will look like this. Okay, now we are going to add our lining to it. This part can be a little tricky for some, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to turn our hat this way. And we are going to put, make sure I get it right. It's been so long since I made a reversible hat. Yeah, it's like this, face down like this. And the pretty side should be like this. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make I call it a bowl. It's not really a bowl. We're gonna match our seams up here and clip. We're just basically stuffing this on the inside of this hat. And you should see nothing but raw edges that you've serged here. Well, I guess they're not raw edges, they're serged edges and serged edges here. So it should be wrong sides out. Okay, and there again, we're going to leave open a 2-inch gap. It doesn't even have to be 2 inches really, but I'm gonna do 2 inches. And I'm using my pen so that I will know to stop here. Okay, So you can go ahead and pin or clip. I'm clipping everything else around. So when you get done, it should look like this. This is the whole inside of the hat. This is the brim part that is connected to the lining of the inside. And this is my hole that I'm leaving here to pop it out, turn it right sides out. Okay, so I'm going to start here. Making sure that that is caught up in here and that my seam is still matching. Lift that down. And just make sure that you're running that over. And you're basically sewing over the last, your serge. So you're basically just going back over the serge that you did. Now I know my pen is coming up. I'm just going to take it out. Now you're going to search for openings that you have besides the one that you left. Okay, so now you have your hat, and all you have to do is push that through the little hole. And it is somewhere in here. And you can just, if you're doing a reversible, you want to fold that in and do a ladder stitch. If you are just using it for lining, you can fold it in still and just do a little top stitch here. But you can hand stitch it, and I will show you what a ladder stitch looks like. I'm going to use black thread so that you can see. So you want to get it folded in about like this. Not anything dramatic, just so it looks like the rest of the hat. So I'm just gonna check over here to see when I turn it inside out. Yeah, that'll be perfect. Oh, okay. So to do a ladder stitch, you want to do a knot in your thread here. And this is double threaded. And by double thread, when we used to sew a long time ago, you will pull half of it through and you would do like a single thread, but now we double thread, have even thread. I don't know how or why we did single thread. Okay, so that you can see, I'm removing this clip and I'm starting here, and I'm going in some because I don't, want a big pinch on the outside. So you start here. Where's the hole? So I'm gonna start here. Ouch. And I'm going to anchor it. Okay. So what you do for ladder stitch, you come directly across from the stitch you done, taking the outer layer here and about so many, maybe a centimeter or so. Okay. And then you come here, you take another, same thing. You just go back and forth directly across from the stitch placement, I guess, that you put in, and it begins to look like a ladder. Hence the reason why it's called a ladder stitch. So it will look like this. And so you can see the black, but when you pull it, you can only see that right here because I did such a big knot. But when you pull it, it's gone. So I'm gonna do the rest of it. Now, if you did white, you wouldn't even be able to tell, but I'm doing black so you can see, because if I did white, you guys would have such a hard time trying to see what I was stitching. So if you just take like the top layer, you don't have to show that it's a ladder, each time. I'm just doing it for the sake to show you guys. You can pull it when you get done each time. And if you can get in more, less will show. Like even with the regular thread. See, I got in more here, and you can barely tell. But You can barely tell on that anyway. When you use the ladder stitch, you can barely see it. Most of the time you can't, but because I'm using black, you can. I see it. If you don't see it, I see it. But if you go like in here, like I did there, my needle got tangled up in there. Ah, that was about to be a tragedy. But you won't be able to see it on the outside like at all because you're just catching up this fabric here. My thread keeps getting tangled for some reason. Probably because I didn't straighten it out. Okay. And then when you come to the end, you just close it up regular. Like just close it like this. Okay, so that would be it. This is with the ladder stitch here. It can be done neater, like way neater. And I normally do them way neater, and you couldn't even see the little puffy stuff here. So when you close it, you just go in, wrap your thread around a few times. Well, I pulled it out just a few times and pull it through. It's maybe gonna come through. Yeah, it got tangled. So now that's secure, and I'm just gonna cut it. Let's see. It was from here to here. And this is how it looks on the other side. Okay, now you have your reversible hat. This is the white side. This with my lining. And this is the other side of the hat. All done. Thank you guys for watching.